I'm starting to feel good. You don't know over the next period of a few days. I guess that's the real test. So we'll be seeing what happens over those next couple of days.
Well, that, of course, is the U.S. President Donald Trump sending out this video message from the Walter Reed Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland. This is where he's being treated right now for COVID-19. And in the video, Donald Trump thanked the American people for their messages of support. The White House also releasing pictures of Trump working inside the facility. This is the first communication from the U.S. president since he was taken to the hospital on Friday. He is receiving treatment which does include an experimental antiviral drug. No word yet as to when he might be released. So we are now just 30 days away from the U.S. election. So we are wondering, what impact will Trump's illness have on his campaign and Republicans? To get his take, we are reaching out right now to Seth Weathers. He's a Republican strategist and former director of Donald Trump's Georgia campaign in 2015. Seth, thank you for joining us on this Sunday.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
So there you have the video message from Donald Trump. And with that, I don't know if you can see this, but I want to share it with people at home because we did see a large number of Trump supporters coming out last night to show the president that they had his back. We are seeing a number of people there once again this Sunday morning. I'm wondering how you are feeling now as one who obviously supports the U.S. president. How are you feeling to hear that Donald Trump, by his own words, says he's feeling better right now?
I think it's very comforting, and I think it's comforting to the American people. I think it was good for them to see the video of the president last night. I think that gave people a lot of comfort in his current status. And, I think there's a lot of rallying support around him, in a moment of, the unexpected moment going into an election. And I actually think it's going to play well for him, politically speaking. I know people don't want to talk about the political aspect of this, but there is one.
Well, what do you mean by that?
I think they're seeing a little different side of the president, and I think it'll make people be a little more sympathetic to him and see, hey, this is a real guy with real feelings and real health issues like everybody else in the world. And so I think it'll allow voters to feel a little more connected with him.
It's interesting you say that because, we've certainly have heard Democrats, and while they have, said that they are sending the president their best wishes, they are also noting the fact that here is this huge irony of someone that was downplaying COVID-19 now being treated for COVID-19. You say this will humanize the U.S. president. Are you worried that his handling of the pandemic and him now being at Walter Reed will actually affect him in a negative way?
No, I don't believe so. I mean, of course, obviously, the Democrats, the other side, is going to try to paint it that way. They're going to say that Trump, talked it down. But the reality is he was throwing in a travel ban when all the Democrats are screaming that it was xenophobic and he shouldn't do it. So, yet now they're saying that he's downplayed it. He's taken the most aggressive steps anyone could have taken. And the Democrats were fighting him while he did it. So I don't see that as downplaying it. He didn't try to send the people of America into panic. And I think that a president's job is sometimes during a crisis to keep the people from panicking. And I think that's exactly what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering about the campaign going forward. Here we are 30 days, as we said, to voting day in the United States. Donald Trump right now and Walter Reed. Are you worried, though? I know you say that this might play in terms of helping humanize Donald Trump to the average American, but I'm wondering if you are worried about the impact not having Donald Trump on the campaign trail will have on results come voting day.
Well, I do think that is rough. That the biggest loss is not having the president out there doing his rallies. I do think we'll probably see Don Jr. out there more, and he is a great representative of the president. And I think the closest thing you can get to having the president at these events, the base loves him, the crowds love him. He knows how to work the room. But I think we'll see the president out there fairly soon. I think, we've still got, 10 days or so that he's got to get through quarantine, et cetera, and then start testing negative before he can get back out there. But, I think we'll see him there in the final 15 to 20 days of the campaign when it's most effective. So I think we'll still get some of that.
Do you think it'll be a different type of campaign, though? Do you think we're now going to see more physical distancing and masks being worn now that the president has been diagnosed with COVID-19?
They'll probably maybe be more aggressively cautious about it. I could see that.
Mm-hmm. Now, there were some serious questions being raised yesterday at that medical update about the timeline that was being presented by the White House, a timeline as to when Donald Trump may have actually known he had COVID-19, whether or not he knowingly then took part in public events and fundraising events, people saying that others may have been infected by that choice. What do you make of those questions? What do you make of that type of allegation?
Well, I think that the medical doctors there in Maryland came out with essentially to clarify their statement as to when the president was diagnosed. And I think that, what the allegations were, I guess, then disproven due to the fact that it was shown the actual timeline of when he was diagnosed.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if you worry about your own state, because there are a number of key states obviously in play right now for the Electoral College. Georgia, as it turns out, is turning out to be a very tight race between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. If you go by a number of different polls, it's actually, in fact, the Biden that leads by a hair of a margin in your own state. Are you worried that Georgia may go Democrat right now without Donald Trump on the hustings?
No, I'm not worried about that. If you looked at the very same polls this time in 2016, you would see that Hillary Clinton was about to win Georgia, and it seems like every 2 to 4 years we're told that Georgia's going to go blue. I just don't see that happening this year, and I think that what you're going to see on Election Day will reflect that. But I still think we're a good 3-4% Republican state when the final votes are tallied. So I think we're going to have a very high turnout in Northwest Georgia, North Georgia in general. And I think that that's going to favor, and South Georgia, and that will favor the president greatly.
Okay, Seth Weathers, thank you for this. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Have a good Sunday. That is Seth Weathers, former director of Donald Trump's Georgia campaign.